Hey everybody, it's Hog Daddy 1. We're starting with part 2 now. So what's the next step? Well, the next step is learning how to extract the gold out of your material. So how would you do that? Well, what you do is you go onto Amazon, pick a pay dirt. All these pay dirts come in these little bags. These are 8-ounce bags. I bought 2 8-ounce bags. This is my review on the Gold Badger Hoard 8-ounce bag, and we're going to do 2 separate. One, we're going to go through and we'll do it classification. We'll separate the classifications out and do it that way, and we'll just pan it out, and I'll show you the technique of panning. And then the other way is with a slew, and it's a little bit faster, a little bit different. So what we're going to do is I'll set this up and I'll show you my my rig to actually do slewing inside the house, so it's a lot easier. This is a camping aluminum slew. It's when I want to go camping, easier to put on my bike if I'm riding to a campsite, and then I can just put this in the river, and we'll probably do a couple things of how slews are put in. But let's do the review on these Gold Badger Hoard 8-ounce bags and see what we can get out. Take the bag, the 8-ounce bag, and let's get the bigger rocks out first. Open this up. Okay, now we want to classify this down, get all the small rocks like that. Okay, there's one. Now we take a smaller one, pour this in, classify down even more. Okay, and that's how you classify, because these are smaller. These are like 3 different types, and then you have your sand, which is classified. And we have a -10, which is the bigger rocks. Classification is just rocks. Classification 30, -30, which is smaller rocks. You almost see gold in there. Okay. Actually, this is a 20, -20, and then you have the sand, which is a -30. And you can go smaller than that if you want. Why we do this is because it's easier so you don't miss any of the gold. So the gold will be in certain pots, so you don't get it messed up with the bigger ones. So you can find the bigger nuggets or the pickers in your -10s, or just your pickers in the -20s, and then the 30s, which is your gold dust or your small tiny specks. So what's next? Well, let's fill up this tub. I found a little tub. We'll fill it full of water, and we'll do it next. So let's start with the -10s. So what I did is I'm going to put, just so I don't lose the gold, I'm going to put the bigger pan on the bottom and then work with my smaller pan. So just put that in there like that. put some water in there. Now these grooves, the grooves will help you catch most of the gold that's there. So you want to go back and forth. Why do you want to go back and forth? Well, the gold and the black sand are heavier than the regular sand and the regular rocks. So it'll basically filter down on the bottom here, and the rocks will be on top. You straddleize it a lot, getting the gold on the bottom. Make sure I don't lose any of it. You shake it up. And see what we can get out of it. Swish it back and forth, and I'll show you that later when we get into the 30s. Okay, if you look, see if I can get it zoomed in. There you go. If you swish it around, you can find the only thing that does not move. Oh, I let it go. Where'd it go? Okay, so if I were to swish this around, you see the rocks moving. Any rocks that don't move, if you're swishing it, is gold. And as you can see, out of the woodwork, there is your gold piece. Because when you swirl it, it doesn't move. That's how you know it's gold. Now there is a mica, which is fool's gold, and it looks just like gold in the sunlight. But if you put it in the shade, it goes to gray, and it moves. This does not move, so there is a little tiny gold speck there. So let's keep going and see what else we can find. Okay, I found a couple more in the 20s, the negative 20s. And they're all in this thing, my little vial, so, or the squishy bottle. The squishy bottle is really cool because you basically, if you see a piece, you just squish it, and it sucks up the water, sucks up in there, because it has a tube in the inside of it, so it traps the gold inside of it, so it doesn't, you don't lose any of the gold. And this is a pretty handy thing to have, is this vial thing. So there's a couple pieces in there. So let's go through the minus 30s. So what we do, I'm going to show you why we shake it. So I'm only going to put a little bit in here, about that much. Give it some water. Dries a little bit. And what we're doing is just sloughing off the sand and the light stuff just to get to the gold. Dries a little bit more, keep the black sand and the gold on the bottom. Sterilize a little bit more. And as you can see, the black sand is starting to come out in that, which is really good. Try to do it as lightly as you can so you don't lose gold. That's why I put this, so I can go through it a second time and see if I missed anything. Just keep going, getting all that brown stuff off until you almost see black sand, period. That black sand is coming out a little bit more. Black sand is coming out, which is what I'm looking for. Okay. Let me get some clear water, because this water is pretty bad. Turn this over like this. Get some fresh water in here. Swirl it around really slowly. The black sand will move out of the way and the gold pieces will show up. Jeez. There's a couple pieces. I don't know if you can see them. Right here. Right about there in this area. There should be 2 of them. I don't know if you can see that. That's good. Ooh. There are 2 floating on the air. That's one thing I need to tell you guys about. I have 2 floaters I can see. And the way you get rid of that is a tension breaker, which basically is soap. If you put soap on the surface of this, all your floaties will go to the bottom. So let's go do that. Okay, this is the -30. This is all we've got down to the bottom of it. So if we swish it around, look real closely. And while I swish it around, watch the gold pieces come up. Now if it doesn't move, that means it's gold. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces right there. That is very cool. Oh, we got 4 more. Okay, let's, keep progress going and see how much more we can find. Okay, that's the result. I tried the slew, couldn't get it to work, so I just went through and panned out the rest of it, and probably a few pickers in there, a few here, right there, a couple of them right there, but a lot of sand, gold, a lot of that -40, but that's pretty good for the first try. So I give this these guys a 5-star for the beginners, for the 20 ounce. It's, I don't know if it's, it'll get them started and get them thinking, this is really cool. So, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another episode.